Hey guys, welcome to St Pancras Old Church in London. We've got Mr. Will Hoge with me. Welcome back to England, Will.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How's the European tour been?
It's been great. This is the third show, and first two have been incredible. So lots of pressure on you guys to keep the trend up tonight.
I'm sure we will.
I hope so.
It's an interesting venue tonight.
It's interesting. Yes.
It's one of the oldest places of worship in England.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, facility. The grounds and everything. You can tell it's unlike any other place I've ever played.
Was this a place you specifically chose?
No, it is not. I am somewhat uncomfortable playing my songs in a church, but they say it'll be okay.
Yeah. So you came over in September. You did a full tour. What did you make of that experience?
It was great. We really just we just stayed in the UK on that and brought the whole band, and the response was phenomenal. And so this time coming back just solo because of this new solo record that we've got out, and then getting to go into some different countries and different territories. And so it's exciting.
Yeah. So you're doing almost a show every day on this European tour, aren't you?
Yeah.
So how's that been? Is it very tiring?
It is. We did an international flight, obviously, to get here, and then 2 shows in Spain, and then we flew out early this morning, about 4 a.m. from Madrid, or from Valencia through Madrid, and got here. Then we got 3 more in a row, and then we get a day off in Amsterdam, so we'll make up for lost time then.
Yeah. Tell us about the glamorous life of a rock star.
Yeah.
Is it first class plane tickets?
It was this time. We got a first class plane ticket this time, which is not a normal thing.
So you're doing an acoustic show tonight, which is a bit different to last time you came over.
Yeah.
Is that something you can see yourself doing more in the future?
Yeah, well, I like to do a mix of those two things. Because really and truly, everything I write kind of stems from that experience. It's always me and an acoustic guitar, me and a piano. So all of the songs, even the most rockin' ones, are really born out of that anyway. And I like to try and do it. I'm in the process of working on material for a new studio record that we'll record later this year. And this is a good way to kind of go back out and reconnect with that part of what I do as a writer, I think.
What brought you into country music in the first place?
Well, I guess country music. I've kind of always been... I never really thought of myself as a country artist. I've always just thought of myself as a singer-songwriter. Yeah. And that's a big thing. To me, there are country singer-songwriters. Hank Williams and Merle Haggard are singer-songwriters, the same way that Bob Dylan is a singer-songwriter, the same way that James Brown is a singer-songwriter. So I don't know that I ever made this conscious decision of, okay, now I'm a country artist. Being born and raised in Nashville, the way that I sound, there are obvious elements of the country music tradition in there. And I think a couple of years back, the country music establishment kind of opened their arms and said that it was okay that I was called country. So I did that for a bit. We'll see if they still feel that way as I keep making records.
You're playing at the Grand Ole Opry again next
Yeah,
month,
we're doing that again.
So for anybody that hasn't been to the Grand Ole Opry, tell us about that whole experience of playing there.
It's my favorite gig that we do. It's the only time I get nervous anymore because it's such a time-honored tradition. And even if you don't like country music and you're in the States, I would encourage people to go because it's really it's such an event. You go and it's live on the radio and there's advertisements and it's just this moving, living thing that they've done, since the 50s. It's an honor to get to do that every time they ask.
And you're touring quite heavily until June, is it? Until the summer. So how do you find the time to go home and see the family?
Well, we were lucky, the first bit of the year, really January and February, we didn't work very much. I got to coach both of my kids' basketball teams, which was really great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun. And then when we get back from this tour, we land on the 16th, and then I leave the 17th. We do 2 weeks of vacation with my wife and kids. We're going to New York and Washington, D.C., back home to let the kids see all that stuff for the first time. So you just kind of, the great thing about this job, the crappy thing about it is you're gone more often than you'd like. But the great thing about it is when you're home, you can really kind of shut everything else off and focus on family, which is great.
And you released 2 new songs recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
Through Missing You and
Some Things You Can't Throw Away.
Away. So tell us a little bit about that. Where did that
Yeah, my friend Ed Tarkington is an author, and he wrote or got his first book published. It's called Only Love Can Break Your Heart. and I don't think it comes out in the UK probably until the middle of the spring. But you should read it. It's one of my favorite books I've ever read. And the story deals a lot with, it's kind of music centric. There's a lot of sharing of records between an older brother and a younger brother, and kind of this almost religious passing around of music. So they wanted to try to do something special for the release of the book, and they talked about putting out a 45. And so I wrote 2 songs, kind of inspired from the book, and they pressed up 45s, and those came out with the first pressings of the book. And then we put it up on iTunes, and it's for sale there too.
So is the UK going to be a regular tour stop now?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, we'd love to see you back.
We've loved it. I mean, y'all's the reception here was great. I mean, really from the very first show when we stepped off the plane in Milton Keynes that last time when we met you guys, every single night was that way. And then the 2 shows in Spain. I'm hoping that trend continues for these next 8 or 10 shows, and make it a whole lot easier to come back.
And what can we expect from this show tonight? Is it going to be a mix of old?
Yeah, stuff, it will be, and Gregorian chant and different hymns, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. No, it'll be a mix of all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, I'm sure.
I hope so.
That's it. Signing out with Mr. Will Hoge. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks.
Cheers.
Good to see you.
Thank you.